So I'm just going to write the answers down. There is a pattern to this after you guys do them a few times. Hopefully you start seeing the pattern emerge. But the first one is 4m minus 3n, 4m plus 3n. And then the second one, 3x minus 2y and 3x plus 2y. And remember, it doesn't matter if you wrote them the other direction. The plus in front of the minus, it's still right. It doesn't matter what order I multiply things in. The third one is 4m minus 3n squared. Or you could write them 4n minus, or I could write it as 4m minus 3n times 4m minus 3n. Doesn't matter. Okay, and then the last one is going to be x minus 4y squared, or x minus 4y times x minus 4y. Okay? All right, so we're going to move on to our new factoring today. This is something we haven't done. Actually, you probably did it last year as a junior. I think you probably did it last year as a junior. And it's factoring sums of cubes, or sums or differences of cubes. And there's two rules. Basically, you just have to memorize the pattern. Well, this year you don't have to because you can use your notes and everything. But if you're going to take math next year and you have this, you will have to memorize it, unfortunately. And I think I just let Laura in. And so it might just be a good thing to get used to it now. They're pretty easy. There is a pattern to it. It's the same for both of them, whether it's a sum or a cube. So here I have a sum. A sum or a difference. Whew, sum or a cube. The only difference is where I put my signs in the factored part. So if it's a cubed plus b cubed, I factor to a plus b first, and then a squared minus ab plus b squared. And if it's a cubed minus b cubed, it's a minus b first, and then a squared plus b, ab times b squared. So basically the difference is where I put my plus sign to start with. That's it. And then they just switch. This plus and minus signs just switch. The pattern is the same. So you just kind of have to remember that part of it. And then the other part of it is I want to make sure that I put each term, put each term in either in the cubed form. So it doesn't matter which one I am in, and I'm going to talk about that when I get down to like number 1. I want to write it as a cube first. So what I mean by that is like 125 isn't written as a cube. I want to write that as a cube. So what cube, basically what I'm asking is what cubed is 125? So what cubed equals 125? Right? So let me come up here. I want to leave those on there. So I want to say what cube, let's, if I write it over here, I can write it. I said what cubed, so if I just use some variable, we'll just use a. What cubed equals 125, right? Well, how do we undo that? You cube root it. So what's the cube root of 125? Basically is 5. So I would rewrite this first problem as 5x cubed. The x was already cubed, so I didn't have to change that. So 5 cubed and x cubed here minus y cubed. And then when I'm factoring this, I always think of this. This is a subtract sign, which means I'm going to be using this one right here. And then I find a A is 5x, and B is y. And now I'm just going to substitute. I know which formula I'm going to use. I'm going to use the one with the minus. So I'm using this one right here. And I know I found out what A was. I found out what B was. And now all I'm going to do is just substitute into the equation, or to the equation, the formula that they've given me. So that means that this factors to, I'll put my equal sign here. A minus B, 5x minus y, times a squared. So 5x squared is 25x squared, plus a times b, that's 5x times y, or 5xy, plus b squared, which is y squared. And that's it. That's, once you identify a and b and you just substitute them into those two formulas, we're done. That's all. Questions? I'm going to do them again. I'm going to do a few more. Okay. So again, I want to write it as a cube. So I have to think to myself, what cubed is 8? Well, that would be 2. So this would be, I'm going to rewrite this as 2m cubed plus, and then the same thing with 64. I want to write it as a cube because this says, oh, this is the plus. So it's a cubed plus b cubed. So I want to find out what cubed equals 64. Well, that happens to be 4 cubed. 4 cubed equals 64. So basically, the other way, if you can't, see, I'm trying to think of different ways to say this, sorry. If you can't think of it as a cube, I could take 8 or 64. It doesn't matter. I can do both of them. And I can factor it. So what times what is 8? Well, that's 2 times 4. And that's 2 times 2. So 1, 2, 3. 2 cubed is 8. Or I could do 64, which is 8 times 8, which is 4 times 2 times 2 times 4, right? But I remember I need 3 of the same number, so I know that these 2 is 4. These 2 times 2 is 4. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 cubed. So I just want to remember that I want to get it down to 3 of the same number that I'm multiplying together. If you want to think about factoring it that way and doing a factor tree, if you can't think about it. But honestly, by the time we get done with this, the notes or whatever, probably you can look back on them and find all the cubes that you'll need in the homework, and probably everything that you'll need. They usually don't use too many different cube numbers, so we'll probably just keep repeating them over and over again. So like we know that 5 cubed is 125 now, and 2 cubed is 8, and 4 cubed is 64, and there's a few others that they use all the time. So if you just have your notes with you and you see that number, you'll be like, oh, that's what this is. So they just kind of repeat the same ones over again. So just kind of keep that in mind. Again, I want to identify what A and B are. So A in problem 2 is 2m, and B is 4. Okay. And then I have the plus one this time, so I want to use this one this time. So I've got equals. This is going to equal A plus B, so 2m plus 4, times A squared again, so 2m squared would be 4m squared, minus A times B, so 2m times 4 is 8m, and then plus B squared is 16. Okay, questions, anybody? Oh. Okay. So again, I'm going to do, I'm going to rewrite it in its cubed form, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. It's cubed form. So 216 cubed, I want to say is 6, I think. Let's look. So 6 times 6 times 6. Yeah, 216. So that's 6 cubed. So this would be 6m cubed equals 216 m cubed minus, and we already know 125 is 5, so this would be 5n cubed. And it's minus, so we're going to use the a cubed minus b cubed. And I want to identify my a and my b. So my a term is 6m, and my b term is 5n. And then I get a minus b, so this is 6m minus 5n times a squared, which is 6m squared, or 36m squared, plus a times b. So 6m times 5n is 30mn. Ooh. And then plus b squared, which is 5n squared, or 25n. Let me move this over a little bit. 25n squared. Questions? Because I think it's your turn to try now. Okay, so let's go to the next page, and I think you have 3 of them. Go ahead and do this. Most of you that have put the answers in the chat box have got them right. Thank you. Very good. The rest of you, if you have questions, please make sure you're writing them in the chat box so I understand if you are not understanding, or I can explain it a different way, or try and explain it a different way. So I'm going to rewrite it as a cube. So this would be 3x cubed plus 5 cubed. And so that means that a equals 3x and b equals 5. So this factors to, this is a plus, so this is 3x plus 5 times 3x squared is 9x squared minus a times b, or 15x, plus b squared, or 25. So there's a. B, let's see, b would be rewritten as 2x cubed minus 3y cubed. So that means that a is 2x and b is 3y. So it factors to, it's a minus, okay. So 2x minus 3y. And then a squared is 4x squared. A times b plus a times b, 6xy plus b squared, 9y squared. And then number C would say, what would number C say? It would be rewritten as 2x squared minus 5y, oh, sorry, not squared, that would be cubed, and 5y cubed. And then A is 2x, and B is 5y. So this would be, this is a minus again. So 2x minus 5y. A squared is 4x squared plus a times b, 10xy, plus b squared is 25y squared. Okay, question, anybody have any questions on those? Okay, that was the second one. Okay, so now we're going to change it just a little bit. Instead of a cube, I've got a 6 power. But my rule is still for, I want to kind of make it smaller so we can still this. My rule is still for cubes. So I still want to rewrite this as a cube because that's what the rule I have for factoring is. It's the only one I know is for cubes. So I want to kind of rewrite this as a cube. So I want to think about what r to the 6th means. So I'm going to just kind of come over here to the column over here, the margin over here. So I have r to the 6th. So I want to find 3 of the same thing multiplied together that equals r to the 6th. Well, r to the 6th is r times r times r times r times r times r. So basically I want to make groups of 3 of that, correct? Because it's cubed means 3 of the same thing multiplied together. So if I make groups of 3, I've got this, this, and this. So I've got that looks like groups of r squared cubed. So I have groups of r squared, r squared, r squared, and r squared. I have 3 groups of r squared, so that would be r squared cubed. So I can rewrite r to the 6th as, I can rewrite this as r squared cubed. And then I can do the same logic for s to the 6th. Instead of putting an r in there, it'd be an s. So I can rewrite that as s squared cubed. Okay, and now I have 2 cubes, and this is going to be a plus sign. So I'm going to, just like what I've been doing, I'm going to identify my A, my B, and then I'm going to use the formula that they've given me to factor this. The formula that I just have to memorize. So I know that A is going to be r squared, and B is going to be s squared in this case. So when I factor this, it's plus. So A plus B, r squared plus s squared, times A squared, which would mean r to the 4th power, minus A times B, r squared, s squared, plus B squared, which would be s to the 4th power. Is there any questions, or are we doing okay so far? We're doing exactly the same thing that we just got done doing, only we're using a higher power, okay? So if I look at the next one, I think number 3 must be a typo. Okay. If I look at the next one, I can rewrite this as, I'll give myself some room. I can rewrite this as 4y squared cubed minus 125 is 5x squared cubed. So that means that A is 4y squared and B is 5x squared. And then I have, let's see, it's a minus. So that's going to be 4y squared minus 5x squared. Whew. And then it's a squared. So a squared would be 16y to the 4th plus a times b. A times b would be 20y squared x squared. And then b squared would be 25x to the 4th. Okay? Questions? And then I'm just going to say this. I'm pretty sure that number 3 is a typo, and those should both be to the 6th power. Boy, I had quite a few typos on this one. So all the rest of these ones should be to the 6th power, just so you guys know. So number 3, B, and C, I gotta fix this, should all be to the 6th power, okay? So if you would change that in your notes if you have them, or when you write them down, it's just to the 6th power, okay? So I'm going to rewrite it again, just like I have been doing. So please let me know if you're not understanding why I got x to the 6th becomes x squared cubed. If you're not understanding that, make sure you ask me and I can go through it again. But remember, it's just 6 x's, and I want to make cube means I need 3 groups of the same thing, so I just circled 3 groups, and it became x squared. That's what was left in those 3 groups. It was x squared. So that's kind of how I thought about it. Plus 27 is 3. 3y squared cubed. So that means A is going to be x squared, and B is going to be 3y squared. So it's a plus, right? So this is A plus B, x squared plus 3y squared. And then we have A squared. So x squared squared becomes x to the 4th. And then minus A times B, 3x squared y squared, plus B squared, 9y to the 4th power. Woo. Okay, 9y to the 4th power. Okay, now it's your guys' turn. I know about how long you guys need to do this now, so I'll give you a little bit more time. If I rewrite this one, this would be 1 cubed plus 6x squared cubed. So A is 1 and B is 6x squared. So this is a plus, right? So this is 1 plus 6x squared times 1 squared is 1. Minus A times B, which is 6x squared, plus B squared, which is 36x to the 4th power. Remember, when I'm doing x squared to the x squared squared, that becomes x to the 4th. So someone just put it in, and that was not quite right. In the second one, on A, you got half of it right, because you said 36x to the 4th. Actually, you got A right. It's on B that you forgot your x to the 4th. So just look at that. And then on B, sorry, I'm reading things not very well today. If I rewrite this, this would be 6x squared cubed minus 5y squared cubed and then so A is 6x squared and B is 5y squared. So this is a minus here. So this would be 6x squared minus 5y squared. And then A is A squared. So that would be 36x to the 4th power. And then plus A times B. A times B. 30x squared y squared plus B squared, which is 25y to the 4th power. Okay. And then the last one, I remember I have to rewrite this in terms of a cube. So this would be 5x squared cubed minus 2y squared cubed. So A is 5x squared and B is 2y y squared. Ethan, are you okay with that? Because I don't know. You did the other two correct, and then all of a sudden, I'm not sure what happened on this one. Are we okay now? Remember, you have to turn it into a cube. Okay. So this becomes, oh, it's a minus. So I've got, what do I have? Minus. Okay. 5x squared minus 2y squared. And then I've got a squared, which is 25x squared, x to the fourth power. Woo! X to the fourth power. Plus a times b, which would be 10x squared y squared. And then plus b squared, which is 4y to the fourth power. Okay, questions? Is everyone okay? Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna work on our Delta Math today. We've got, let's see, what time is it? 20, no, actually almost 30 minutes to work on Delta Math. So go ahead and get the Delta Math worked on and finished. I think there's like 9, 10 problems today. So let's get